woohoo, you better pay us. The whole thing's a scam. It's like the entire financial system, which we can discuss at length.
Yeah.
Our entire financial system is designed to steal wealth from the poor and just turn it into numbers on the screen of the rich.
Destruction by design.
Yeah, oh yeah, the whole thing is corrupt. And when you understand the system, you understand that the system is rigged to a point where most people do not stand a chance to ever win.
So let's talk about this. In what way is it rigged?
It's rigged because, and we can go down the economics of it all.
Yeah.
But my very basic premise of it is that there's a whole bunch of people out here who are effectively slaves. And when you're a slave if you have a job in any form, effectively. Some slaves are better paid than others, but most people are slaves. In the days of slavery, what would happen is the slave masters would use control and aggression and influence to convince you to do work for free. So what they could do is they could get work out of you with something that they can generate from the sky, right? They can be aggressive from the sky, influence from the sky, a couple bullets are cheap, whatever it took, and they could get your labor. Now we have the exact same thing, but they just use fiat. They use fiat money. If the people in charge of the world can print unlimited amounts of said thing, and you'll give up your life for certain amounts of said thing, then they own you. They control you. Oh, you need $100 to do this. Print. Off you go, slave. It doesn't matter. It's not real. So who cares? So the entire world's a slavery system to some degree. Maybe you can make enough of those dollars and buy your freedom, as I have, right? But in general, it's a slave system. And anyone who's out here who still believes, because it seems to be there are some people who still believe in like saving up and save my money, and if I'm really diligent and I get a mortgage and in 28 years I might own the property. Man, it's a trap. All of it is a trap. Have you ever met a rich person, asked them how they got rich, and they said saving?
No.
No. This is the biggest.
Sleeping floors. I worked so hard. I slept so many floors.
And I saved it.
And I didn't have that morning coffee, you know?
Complete lie. And everything they teach you about financial literacy is a lie. Everything they teach you about wealth creation is a lie. Everything they teach you about what you're supposed to do with your money and how you're supposed to think is a lie. They get your ass in debt at the very, very beginning.
So how did you realize all this? How did you realize all this?
God has his favorites.
No, how did you realize all
God
this?
has his favorites.
God can instill potential into an individual, but doesn't mean that the individual is going to fulfill that potential. Something in the environment has to happen.
I operate with divine purpose.
Absolutely not. So how did you realize all this?
I just, I've always my entire life. So my father was a chess grandmaster. I was a chess player. So at the age of 5, I was Indiana State chess champion. And then when I was 8, I was on my way to becoming a FEDE master. So I was one of those child chess geniuses. I never actually ended up becoming a chess master because we moved to England. My father stayed in America, blah, blah, blah. But I've always been good at pretty good at analyzing the chessboard. And even from a very, very young age, I just understood, and I don't know exactly where I got it from. I understood the world is a scam, all of it. I was walking to school one day, walking to college, sixth form, with my 4 friends, and a Ferrari went past. And I was like, bro, how do we get one of them? He's like, oh, don't know. I said, what do you mean don't know? Doesn't it bother you? He has 400 grand for a car. Doesn't that anger you that he has 400 G's for a car and our parents are broke or on a council estate? They're like, I guess. That's the average man. Like the average man has no fire inside of him. I'm 16. I couldn't sleep for 3 days because I saw a Rari. I was like, I want a Rari. I want one.
Yeah.
Now I have 4. Right? So this
only
is
4?
Only 4, but I have 22 cars as a whole. So
only 22?
Only 22. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I
hope you meet a rich man one day later. But this is the exact point, right? So I always had the fire inside of me, and what happened is, growing up in Luton especially, all the Asian boys who were driving these fast cars, when you'd go to a petrol station at 3 in the morning and a Lambo and a Rari would pull up, you know they're done dealing drugs.
Yeah.
Like, you don't look at them and go, oh, he worked hard in school. No way.
Got that A.
No, exactly. So I always had an intrinsic understanding that the only way to truly get rich is to break the system at some degree. So when I was going to school and the school was trying to purport the system, they're trying to convince me that the system is the best way to have a successful life, I was sitting there going, but everyone's living the life I want broke the system. I don't believe in any